Hello, and welcome back to Running on Pixie Dust, a podcast series that I started on YouTube, but also decided after all to share it to podcast platforms. So if you're watching on YouTube, welcome back. It's an exciting episode. We're here. We're doing the thing.
Dopey training is starting.
Literally. So if you don't know, this is episode number 2. Or technically it's number 3, but it's week 2 because I had a week 0 episode that was like the intro, the background, what Dopey is, what Run Disney is, like why I'm doing this, who am I. So go ahead and listen to episode 0 and 1 posted right before this. But yes, we are talking all things Dopey in this episode. We are both running Dopey 2023, which is a 5K, a 10K, a half, and a full marathon.
All in consecutive days.
Yeah, in 4 consecutive days.
Yeah.
So we love that. But yeah, I am your host, Annika. We have a very special guest with us this week, Ashley.
Hello.
AKA Disney_tricks on Instagram.
That is me.
That is you.
Hi.
That is you.
I am so excited to be here, sharing all the fun running things, and no way am I a pro. But stay tuned. I did run a Dopey, not very well trained, so I have some experience.
So, we will definitely dive into that. But yeah, make sure you check out last week's episode. I had special guest Allison on, and we've known each other for like 15 years, so it was like fun to go down memory lane a little bit. And she's like a racer runner, so make sure you check out that episode. Yeah, so let's get started with week 2. So I'm so excited to have you on. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, okay.
You asked it, I was like, yeah, let's go. Dopey training all day long. Let's do it.
And another Orlando local.
Yes, yeah.
So I think pretty much a majority of any guest I bring on here is probably going to be an Orlando local.
We'll see.
Aside from like a couple special guests later on. We'll see. But yes, so you are Orlando local, Insta baddie, a healthcare warrior. She's a runner. She's a track star.
She's a track star. Question mark on the star, but she's running. So there we are.
But yeah, no, like literally jumping into kind of how we met and how this even came to be. Like we're both running Dopey, and we're both big Run Disney fanatics.
Yes.
And like let alone just Disney in general. People.
Yeah, all the Disney adults, it's fine. But then we're running races. And, you know, I saw Annika on Instagram making all the super cute posts with all the edits, and I'm like, okay, we have to run together. What are we doing? We're running all these races.
Literally. Okay, so yes. We both have special designated Disney Instagrams.
Yes.
At Disney_tricks.
Yes.
And then at Annika's Paintbrush. So
Your name is still that in my phone.
Oh my god.
Annika Paintbrush. It's ridiculous.
Right? It's like when you first meet people, you have to put like special emojis next to their name. Like, who is this person again?
Yeah.
But yeah, so literally, we posted doing Run Disney stuff. There were like a couple of races I think we might have done at the same time.
Yeah, but we were like never near each other. Or and see each other finish and be like, oh no.
Right, and be like, oh wait, you were there. Like
a banana and I'm leaving.
Right,
I'm going to take a nap
with the Run Disney box and everything. But yeah, like it was the princess half of this year that we actually finally met in person.
Yeah,
and that's kind of crazy because
it's really crazy.
That was in February, and it's July now.
And we've hung out all the time. Going on runs.
Making questionable choices.
Possibly going to Jelly Rolls. Possibly.
One of the most questionable choices was signing up for Dopey, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I am so excited to have so many friends running it this year. I feel like last year I did it with a couple of my friends who are very serious about running, and I'm really excited to do it with some friends who are really serious about Disney.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
About Disney.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think we had posted that we were both going to be at Princess, and just happened to notice that we might have been in the same corral.
Yeah.
And
like,
then
is that the same light post?
Right. It was like, where are you? So then we started messaging, and this is like at 4 a.m. in the corral, right before the Princess Half Marathon. And I think you had done the whole weekend.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. I do the 5K, the 10K, and the half. I try and do all of them.
Oh my gosh, yeah. were like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And at this point, I think the national anthem had started, and we were like, popping around, and like, mind you, like, I'm 5'2".
And I'm 5'9", so I'm here. Annika's here. I'm like, where?
Yeah, and I was like, I had my Mushu costume on, and I had a visor that had like a little stick-up Mushu face on it.
She was Mushu.
I was Mushu. Because now I'm like avid into like dressing up for the races, whereas before.
Which now I am because of Annika.
Yeah,
I was not.
I make her.
It's so annoying, but now we're here. I'm like, dang it, we have to do it now.
But I was like,
so
popping up and down, like searching for you. And then we met each other in the corral. Like, this was like 10 minutes before we started running or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, you.
Hey, like, what do you pace? Like, I don't know how we're going to do it.
We were like, okay, so are you going to take off when the race starts? Like, what are you vibing?
I was like, hut no.
Like, you don't have to run with me.
No,
like,
same.
I'm a snail, turtle, and like.
We both were like, whatever.
We were like, yeah, whatever. And then we just ended up sticking like together the entire race.
The whole thing. Just together.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I think we had like a really good pace.
I do too.
Like,
it was just fun.
We stuck with intervals.
We did.
And we just were on the same page of like, let's skip this one.
Yeah, let's skip this one or keep running. We were really behind.
Yeah, we were like, let's stop for this character.
Yeah.
Let's take this photo. Let's make this TikTok.
It was really fun. Yeah, let's make this TikTok. And then we ran the 10 miler.
Yes. So Springtime Surprise came around. And did we run both of them? Oh, because my mom was in town.
Yes.
So I did I think was it the 10K?
The 5K or one of them with her, and then I think we did
the 10K.
Yes.
It was the Race to the Taste 10K. I did that with my mom.
And then we did the 10 miler like dedicated. We're taking TikToks. We're making content.
Because literally like 2 weeks before the 10 miler, I was like, well, who else is doing it? And then of course Ashley was doing it because she does all of them. And
you need a pal. It's always me.
And then they released the course map.
Yeah.
And I saw that it went through Galaxy's Edge. And I was like, sold, signed, sealed, delivered, sign me up.
Star Wars, get an outfit, we're
like,
doing it.
I am Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Ashley, by the way, you're going to be Rey. So.
Like, all right, I'm Rey, but I got to find an outfit. This is like, I knew for weeks, and I couldn't find anything on Amazon, so I go into Lululemon at Springs.
Which was insane. Like, she found the perfect Rey outfit out of Lulu, like, the night before.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. Because I like the reusable pieces.
Yeah.
And, like, if I can't find it on Amazon, I'm like, shoot, well, what are we doing?
We are Lulu stands here as well.
Lulu stands here. We love Amazon and Lulu. There's no
because Lulu's right at Springs too, so it's easy to just pop
like
over. So that was just so funny. But yeah, and then have we run any other races together? Was that the last one?
I think that was the last one because then it was springtime and it was done.
Right. Oh my gosh. It feels like we've run more together at this point.
It really does.
Which is
I think
weird.
it's because we made the group. So then Annika came up with the idea, to make the Facebook group.
Yes.
So shameless Facebook group plug.
Yes, we started our like Hot Girl Run Walk Insta Baddie like
Run Disney.
Yeah, this like
it's
insane
so
group. That was a little background of like how we came to be, how we kind of got here. You basically do every single Run Disney race that there is. And it's insane. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl signs up for like 25 races.
I like that. It's the only thing that keeps me running. I'm not going to lie.
No, it
really
does.
is.
Like, no, I'm the same way. So the next upcoming Disney race we have is Wine and Dine, which is
outfits for. So if you have suggestions,
we haven't planned that yet.
Us.
I know. We gotta get it together. But we've got Wine and Dine in November, and then we've got, of course, the Dopey Challenge, which like I don't even want to think about outfits for that yet. Even though I've seen people posting in other Facebook groups, they're like, I've got my outfit for all 4 races.
Wild. I'm not gonna lie. So when I did the Dopey Challenge this year, all I bought were the aprons because I was like, I'm mortified of what I signed up for. I need something easy.
Yeah. And you just throw on top of your running clothes.
Yeah, and if they're uncomfortable, you could take it off and throw it away and like just keep running in your running clothes. It was comfy, but
yeah, you definitely need versatility, like functional outfits, like especially for the half and the full because you're out there for such a long time.
Yeah. And that's why I go like the Lululemon route because I want something like black leggings I can wear all the time or a white skirt is something I would wear later to the parks. So,
and it's that like nice wicky material too.
You're not going to chafe.
Because we'd be sweating.
we'd be sweating in Florida. Yeah.
And then registration for Princess Weekend was a couple weeks ago too.
I got the princess races. She did all 3.
She freaking signed up for all of them.
Psycho.
And I was like, bro, that's like barely a month after Dopey. Like, I only signed up for the 10K.
Yeah, I'll be honest though. Like, I remember this year when I got to Princess, I was like, what did I do? That was dumb. But then after running them, I was like, it felt really great to keep it going. Like,
did we
on
run
to spring.
Oh, we didn't run Princess.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, yeah, we did. The
Yeah,
half.
that's the
Duh.
first. Yeah.
But I
We
remember
did Princess in springtime.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me, like, girl, I still have blisters on my feet from
did.
Dopey. And I was like...
did. I'm not... Oh, my gosh. The marathon blisters. I think they still live on my foot. It's bad.
Permanent.
They're
Permanent
bad.
damage.
And I had the nice socks. I had the, the featured socks, all that stuff. And mile 18, I felt it happen. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah. You almost have to, like, preventatively wrap your entire foot.
Your entire foot for hours. And I mean, no. That first Dopey challenge was a time.
Pain.
The pain.
Okay, so something I do every single week in my podcast, and from here on out, I do highs and lows.
Woo.
So we share highs and lows of the week. It could be run related, it could be personal related, it could be anything. So I'll go first. I'll share my highs and lows, and then we can go to you, and you can do highs and lows. So I don't have very many, but some of my highs were one kind of, now that we've completed week 1 of official Galloway Dopey training for the marathon weekend, which, if you don't know who Jeff Galloway is, he's the Run Disney consultant, and he's an Olympian and runner track star.
That's fact. That's all facts.
How many times am I going to say that this
runner
episode?
Track star. A lot.
But
every time. No, I'm just kidding. This is a Disney podcast. Don't do that.
But so after having like week 1 down, like I feel like I could get into the groove of it. Like it was rough one of the mornings, like getting up, and like that's just gonna be the routine now. Is just forcing yourself to get up and go do it.
Yeah.
So
because it's so hot right now, and then it's gonna feel amazing like come November, but then it's gonna get really cold some mornings.
I was thinking that
you gotta layer up. So
literally,
it's a very fun game, and then you never know what Dopey's gonna bring. Is it gonna be freezing cold?
Oh my
Is
God,
it gonna rain?
I know. I'm a little stressed, but
it's a little random.
But yeah, but moving on to my next high. To the next high. Last week, I mentioned that I actually am going under contract for a new build house. And I know, it's really exciting. But it's set to be ready, like, probably September-y time. And I'm super...
Ghosties, ghoulies, Halloween.
Perfect for Halloween time.
Yes.
But no, the fun fact is, like, I pretty much always move in, like, Halloween time. And then Black Friday comes around, and that's when I furnish my apartment or whatever.
Oh, I love it. That's a pro tip.
The deals,
that
you know.
That is a trick right there.
Yeah. But for my house, my drywall went up, so I have walls.
So there is a house.
There is a house. The walls are up. So that's really exciting. For my low, I have one low. For 4th of July this past weekend, my friends and I just chilled at our apartment pool. Very low key, whatever. But we had a bunch of cans stocked up in my fridge of like little seltzers or like lemonades and stuff like that. And so I had a lot in my fridge. It was jam-packed, and I was not smart in how I like stacked them. So I opened my fridge door, and one of the full cans fell onto my foot.
No.
And it fell so perfectly that the top of it literally like dented the top of my foot.
No.
And it was like swelling and bruised immediately, and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, it's giving Dopey training week 2.
It was very, very painful. And
that's
I'm still like, it hurts to push it on the top of the shoe. And when I went for my run yesterday, I did a 45-minute training run. I ended up like walking like the last half of it because my foot was just dying. And I was like, oh, good.
It's time to, you got to nurse those things back.
I know.
You can't overdo it now because you got a lot more weeks to go. Well, that's definitely a low. I feel that. For my highs, it is the end of the quarter, and I am a sales girly, so it was a great close to the quarter. And I saw a ton of friends this weekend. We went out to Jelly Rolls and a fun dinner at Boathouse. So those are definitely some of the highs. And then I'm also going to New Orleans this weekend with Darling Nikki. So her and I are going and going to have some fun. A low would definitely be the pacing right now. Honestly, I'm relating it to Run Disney, but oh my gosh, it is so humid and hot. And even my fast friends are like barely making it under 10 minutes. They're like, it is so humid. And I'm not a fast girly. Like, I'm good in the 12 to 14 minute vibe.
Yeah, I feel like we pop into that 12 to 14 minutes, and that's like our vibe.
Yeah, like eventually I'd like to be a 10 to 12 girly, but
I've
got friends running like 5Ks in 22 minutes, and I'm like, wow, I would love to do it, but that's fast.
It's a no for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
no,
moving
the
fast.
humidity has been.
Yeah.
I checked it. I think yesterday for my run. It was worse this morning. I don't know.
It was bad.
And
this
you ran at like
morning.
what 8?
At like 8 in the morning. Yeah. And I got a DM from somebody, and he was like, he just sent me this link. It was a total random DM, and it was Orlando's the sweatiest city in the United States. So there you go.
Like
Can
even
confirm.
yesterday, I saw it was 87% humidity.
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, it had to be over 90 today.
We need to know.
You could barely even breathe. Like
Yeah.
my friend and I were talking last week and saying that like it's the same as if you were running inside of a sauna.
Yes, literally. It truly is. It's the heat. It's the humidity. It's not dry.
And you either have to do 3 or 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
or just forget it. It's going to be the same temperature all day because
Yeah.
even at like 6 or 7, it's
hot.
already up there.
But it's so good that we get to train here. That's
Yeah.
one thing. Like, I would even hear on the trail or, like, the running area, everyone was like, it's so humid. I wish we lived here because they were used to training in Colorado. But the altitude's so different. The humidity's so different.
So many things are like, there's
Yeah.
so much that goes into play for
Yes.
ideal running conditions.
That's for sure.
I was listening to this other running podcast, and they were saying how like the ideal temperatures are obviously like under like 70 degrees. Like that'd be a good running temp. But they were saying like, yeah, once you get into like that 70 or 80 range, you really gotta take it slow.
We're out here in like 95.
And like maybe not run that day or whatever. And I was like, LOL.
Yeah.
They obviously don't live in Florida because we out here dying in our training runs.
Well, in Marathon Day this year, they were slightly worried. They were like, everybody hydrate. It's going to be hot. And then the marathon before COVID was my friend's first. She was 7 months pregnant, did the Dopey Challenge. She's incredible. Love you, Megan. But literally, she told me that they had to have buses for people because it got so hot. They were like, it's just unsafe to continue running. So people got swiped off the course at Blizzard Beach, and that would just be so frustrating, like mile 18, and you don't get to finish. But I get it. I mean, it's actually really dangerous.
For your safety.
And just, it's direct heat. You're running on roads. So it is direct asphalt and heat. It's hot.
The heat and like hydration, those
you need
are
those sponges.
keys. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There's like so much to go into, from packing for the marathon, like what you'd want in a belt bag, all the things.
Yes, which we're going to get into later. I'm going to ask you about your gear and stuff.
For sure.
As far as the Galloway schedule, which I'm going to try and follow Galloway. I'm pretty sure that you're like
I'm
loosely.
trying.
Yeah.
It's really hard. The 45-minute runs is where I'm like, and for some reason, like I was running so many times before. If you're in that Facebook group, I was posting, I was running all the time.
Yeah, you were. You want to roll.
Now I'm like, I have to train for Dopey. I'll do it for like half an hour, and I'm cutting myself short. But I need to not.
You're still moving though.
Yeah,
and, like,
I agree.
We're early enough in the training that it's okay. Plus,
yeah.
like again, the heat has been absolutely insane. Like I hope it calms down a little bit. Like obviously we're going into summer, but I mean still, this is. I feel like it's abnormally hot at this point.
I got so great last year, right before Wine and Dine, and I ran my best races at Wine and Dine, and honestly fell off because then it was Thanksgiving, Christmas, the marathon
holidays.
weekend.
Yep.
So that was really tough to do, like 3 weeks of hard training right before Wine and Dine, crushed the races. I felt so confident, and then went into Dopey, and that was a whole experience. But we'll chat about that one.
Woo!
So it's exciting. But I think the 45-minute runs and the long mileage on a Saturday or Sunday is so important. And you have to get all 3 of those runs in, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, doing them spread out how it's meant to be is the most ideal. But sometimes, like, I'm going out of town this weekend, so I'm running Tuesday, Wednesday,
I think just
Thursday.
getting something in, I think that's fine, especially this early on.
And sometimes, like, I'll throw the longer mileage on a Tuesday and then do Thursday, Saturday, 45-minute runs.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then target like 3 or 4 miles in the 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I know I have some trips coming up later this year that when we're getting up there in mileage too. So I'm gonna have to like plan accordingly because I maybe swap some weeks or something, but you kind of just have to work it.
For sure, yeah. And I think like you could swap weeks, you can move days. I mean, as long as you're not changing multiple months and stuff.
And like skipping multiple long runs, like that's
what's gonna do you in. I think before Dopey, the longest I ran was like 16 or 18 miles before I did the challenge. I never got all the way to the 20 plus mile. So when I got to 18, I felt good, and then at 18, I was like, oh my gosh, I still have 8 miles left. It's rough.
I have a feeling I'm gonna want to at least go above 20.
Yes. Oh, for sure. I agree. I think that you should. I know people have different opinions on that, but I think I would like to get to like 21 before I go.
Yeah, I'm thinking at least 21,
fun, yeah.
22. Because then after that, it's like you still have a ways to
A
go.
10K,
But
yeah.
I don't know. So we'll see when we get there how I'm feeling.
I also am such a math girl, and it's really annoying, and everyone running with me was like, Ashley, stop, because I was like, here's how many 5Ks I have left.
Right.
Here's how many 10Ks I have left in the
like
marathon.
Like 3 30-minute segments.
Yeah,
and like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, girl, just run the race. I'm like, you're right. Like, I wish I had just run it instead of been so focused on grouping things, but it was just whatever got you through
No, it's
it.
like, let's run 10 minutes, another 10 more times.
Yes,
and then
yeah, literally. I'm like, okay, I'll do 30 minutes at this pace, and then like 20 came, and I'm like, okay, we need water, we need a character.
Literally.
Let me do something.
This week was only, I say only, but we bought our 2 45-minute runs, and then we had the 4 miles for our long run.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm about to be hitting the spot where I'm going to have to find newer locations to go on runs.
Yeah.
Because I don't love, like,
here we go.
taking laps.
I got you. Are you ready? So celebration is fun. Lake Nona's super fun because you can go like 3 miles, turn around, and go 3 miles back.
Yeah.
So you can do a 10K fast.
Okay.
Where else do I like? Obviously, like Boardwalk.
I've done 7 miles at Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Like, we started, I think we parked at Studios. And then we ran from Studios to the Boardwalk, took a whole lap. We took, like, little U-turns and all the little crevices to, like, get up the mileage.
Yeah.
And then we did that twice. And that was exactly 7 miles. Like,
Wow.
car out and then back to the car.
That's a lot. That's a good one.
Which we got it done. So, I mean, there's ways to do it. But I definitely, because, like, around here, I have my routes right by where I live. And it's, like, that's the perfect 3 mile. I have the perfect 3 mile loop. And it's always worked out. But then once we start getting up, it's like I don't want to have to do loops
that, like, 3
and
times.
like do
No,
laps.
That's not fun.
Because then then it gets like tedious.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Shruthi runs somewhere cool. We need to check with her.
Yeah, I think she goes like downtown, like I Drive or something.
Yeah, she does something neat.
Which isn't all the way downtown, but it's like
She also said somewhere near SeaWorld, so I don't
Yeah.
really know, like a lake.
I know. We have to find our other runner friends and like see what they're up to.
Yeah, that's how I feel about everything. I'm like, what kind of leggings do you guys like? What do we like to do? I ask so many questions.
What are we
What are
doing?
we doing? Where do we run? Like, what's the vibe? A lot of people do the Track Shack run, so they'll meet up at like 6 p.m. or 7 a.m. and they run with a group.
Yeah.
So that's a thought. I thought we could have some for our Run Disney Hot Girl Run Walk group. And I have a feeling like so many people are starting to push for that. So we'll definitely do a meetup run.
Absolutely. Once people stop going out of town.
I know. It could have been this weekend. Next weekend.
I mean, we've got like, 20 more weeks or whatever?
Come on. We have no time. Zero time for this.
But I do love running like the walk run method. And for a while for my pre-dopey training runs, I was doing 60 second run, 30-second walk. But this past week, I've upped it to 90-second run, 30-second walk. And, like, it obviously makes your pace a little bit faster because you're running a little bit more. And it actually wasn't too bad. So I might try and keep up the 90-30 to just, like,
that's what
keep
I
on
do
pace.
For my race. Yeah, I want to do dopey at 90-30. But I trained a lot at 60-30 last year, especially in the summer. Like, it's okay to train at a slower pace in the summer. And then once we hit like September, October, start really getting into it. Just get the miles on your feet and your shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I figured we're probably running, I don't know all the dopey races, but like, are we running all the dopey races together? I think.
Oh, we definitely are.
I was like, I don't know if she's got her own crew.
No, I do have a crew, but I just merge all the crews. Like our dinner last Saturday.
Right? No, literally.
We just had like 5 different people. Nobody knew each other. I'm like, let's come together. We're going to dinner.
And if anything, like we have the same pace.
Yes. So it's other
like
people cut out, then you cut together. So
it's
that's
easy to just break up. Yeah.
Yeah, like during the 10K, I think we had 8 people, and we didn't want to be that obnoxious group that was all in a line over like the boardwalk, so we all kind of staggered. Yeah. And we changed like who we staggered with because you have such a long time.
As long as you have your exit buddy.
Exit buddy, that's it. And make sure you move to the right when you walk.
Oh yeah. No, hand up.
Fun. Yeah, right. I do that still, even when I'm training. I'll be like, oh, never mind.
I mean, it's good practice.
It is good practice.
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Ooh, questions, Q&A.
Let's dive in to Ashley. So, how long have you been running?
Ooh, so I was like a swimmer my whole life.
Oh, no way.
Swimmer gal, and then did lacrosse and absolutely hated running, truthfully. Yeah. And if you're a swimmer, like your punishment is dry land, which is running. So I never had a positive relationship, but then with running, and then like 3 years ago, I would say 2017 or 18, I started doing runs with like a group of friends.
Okay.
And I was not training. I just signed up for a challenge and had never trained. It was like, I'll
Yeah.
do a 10K and a half. It'll be fine. Absolutely died. But it was such a blast because I was there with friends. And then from then on, I said I'm going to run. So I would say like 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good amount.
Long-winded answer to say.
But like
4
that's
years of running.
that's a lot of running that you've done in the
That's-
4 years.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a lot. I've signed up for a lot of the races, and I think honestly, most of the time I just sign up by myself, and so many different friends run it, so we end up running together, and that's been.
And
the
you
most
make new
fun.
friends.
Exactly. Like you just never know. I moved to Orlando and didn't really know anybody, and then got into all the Disneygram stuff, and met so many friends. So you just never know.
Because there's so many people out there who are like the same thing. Like
the
they're signing up by themselves, or they're like going to do something and they want to do something the same as you, or whatever.
Or they're running with like 2 friends. Meanwhile, that's one of my fast friends.
Yeah.
And so like I'll sign up with them, and they peace out. And so I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah. No, that's the same with my friend who was on last week, Allison. Like she is corral 1 at the start line, like at the rope. Like that is her. And it's like, all right, you go win, honey.
It's really hard to do that. Like that's who I want to be in like 3 more years. At like the Boston Marathon.
So what was your first Run Disney race?
Yeah, so my first Run Disney race was the Wine and Dine Challenge. And I did it with my friend Tess. Not me like shouting out every girly in the Disney Instagram community. But Tess and I ran it together, and it was so much fun. She came over from California. She's a runner gal. She plays soccer. Like, that's her thing. And so I ran with her, and I was definitely slow, but had a blast.
But the challenge is like a big step to be like your first race, because the
is.
challenge is a 10K and then a half marathon the next day.
Yeah.
So what? 6.2 plus 13.1.
And then a half marathon the next day, which is a little crazy.
That's a lot.
I feel like that was kind of a lie, because I did do a Run Disney race with my mom when I was like 8, and it was a 5K. But like that was the only
back
one.
in the day. No, I was the same way. Like my mom and I did them together, like way back when they were still at Disneyland.
Oh,
and
so
we did like the
cool.
Neverland 5K or something like that.
That's so cool.
And that's when we had the
Tinkerbell
Tinkerbell 10K. Like that was a whole thing, and like you stay with your friends and family like on property and stuff.
Everyone said that Tinkerbell race was really cool. Wasn't it all females who ran it or something over in California?
I can't even remember. I wasn't a Disney knowledgeable person at that point in my life. I was like, oh yeah, we're just doing the 5K, whatever, la la la. And just so young, and so my mom always took care of registration and like did that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't as in it as I am today.
No, I love it. Yeah, I did the 5K with my mom, and it was like this red dress 5K back when they were like really sponsored by charities, which was really. And then we ran through Epcot, and I thought it was so cool. And then I started doing a couple runs in my local community.
Yeah.
And I still liked it, but just didn't love it. And it's so hot down here that I kind of was done.
I know. Literally, like my friend last week was like, well, why don't you sign up for more local races? We have so many here in Orlando. And I'm like, it's hot.
It's hot. Like I run for the Run Disney races. But yeah, that was my first Run Disney race. It was fun.
That's awesome. So like basically a friend brought you in.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing that happened to me. It was like they were doing it. So it's like, well, if your friend asks you to jump off a bridge too, would you do it? It's
Apparently.
Like, I guess we would. I guess we
we're
would.
Jumping. No.
Guess we're jumping.
I think it's fun too on the Disney side, because so many of like the Disney Insta baddies started to do these races. And at first it was like because of sponsorships, and now I feel like everyone's stuck to it, and it's just running for fun.
They're addictive.
They're very addictive. You wouldn't think getting up that early is addictive, but I've gotten a lot of people into this. Like,
oh yeah.
It's very cool.
And I've seen some messages too, like, oh, I saw you do this race, and like that made me want to sign up for
all
one.
the time.
Yeah,
I love it. I think those are the nicest things ever. That's like, okay, well now I need to go run outside.
I know.
These people are so nice.
So you have done. Was last year your first Dopey?
Yeah, I've done one Dopey. So
okay.
That was.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I'm early.
That still makes you a veteran. You've done it. You completed it. You got all 7 medals.
She made it. Yeah, she didn't think she was gonna make it, but she did make it.
Is it 7 or 6? It's 6 medals. Right? 4 races and then 2 challenge. 6.
Yeah.
Not 7.
Think about that. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, 7 sounds right. You just get like 1,000,000 medals. You know, Cindy just hopped up here, but that's okay.
Anyways,
you want to talk about running too?
Welcome.
Which, for a while,
She's
Cindy was my little running coach. I would take her on runs with me, but now that it's gotten too hot, I don't take her anymore. because it's not good for her. It's barely good for me.
It is toasty. And the runs get long. Like, you're out there for a couple hours.
Literally.
Sometime.
Okay, so what has been your favorite race, Disney or not, that you've completed?
My favorite race is definitely a Disney race. I loved the Dopey challenge that I did. I think that is such a test of your endurance, and I've always been like a faster, shorter. When I did swimming, I was like the 50 backstroke girl. I was very short distance. And then now I feel like I'm doing these longer distances.
And it's a huge accomplishment,
It's
too.
really tough. I think like we all know how difficult it is, but then once you actually get there, like you do the 5K, you do the 10K, you do the half, you're feeling good. But then you get into that marathon and 18 miles in, you're like, oh my gosh, I've run X amount, however much that is, like 30 miles this whole weekend, and I still have another 10K to go.
Oh, one
It's
thing
really
I heard.
mental.
Yeah, it is. One thing I heard from another podcast is like when you're doing Dopey, you complete all the races leading up to marathon morning, and you're standing in the corral on that last Sunday morning, and you still have 26 miles ahead of you.
Yeah, you still have 26.2. You've done 3 races. You're like, I'm 3/4 of the way there, but you're really not even like halfway through your distance at all, to be honest. So mentally, you're thinking like, okay, I got it, and then you get through the race. You're halfway through the race, like, whoa, this is a time. And I remember like one huge thing for that would be walk the parks after you do the races, because you have all this lactic acid built up, and you want to walk it off. So if you run your half marathon and go back to sleep and sit in an ice bath, like you're done for.
Yeah,
you need to
that's
walk
a good point.
But yeah, no, I would say that race, and then also Wine and Dine and Princess, which is so tough. So I like Wine and Dine because you get to do that after party.
Yes,
if you sign up for like
post race
the
party at Epcot.
Oh my gosh, and I just think that's so fun. I think we met up there too once, but like, or
we
tried.
Yeah, right. And then I ended up leaving early because like
we both were like, we're done, we're tired.
We are, because that party goes until midnight.
It's late on Sunday night, but yeah, no, I love that, and I also love Princess because it's Princess.
It's Princess.
It's girly. We love a girly moment.
We are girly girls.
We are girly girls, that is for sure.
Okay, so my next question is, do you have an upcoming race that you're really excited for?
Yeah, I'm super excited for Wine and Dine. Like, I know that's cheesy, but
I think Wine and Dine is my favorite.
Yeah. Is it? I was going to ask you, what's your favorite?
I think so. And it's not this year, but last year it was like the spooky theme.
Yes.
I love spooky season is my season. Like, I am a Halloween girl. Like, I loved the themes so much last year. And the post-race party, like, even though you're dying and you want to just go home, it's still fun. Because
it is so fun.
You have the park to yourself. Like, everyone else, all the Run Disney people are there.
All
like, meeting up with people. You've, like, accomplished the weekend. It's, like, a cool, fun thing.
It's so fun. I love it because you've done, like, you've fought off people to get your merchandise, and then you've gone and waited in all these corrals and dealt with all of it, and then you're in line for all the characters. And then you finally get to go to this little post-race party, like, we all did it! We got through this crazy weekend!
And just, like, let loose and not have to get up the next morning to run again.
No, exactly. And, like, even though you've been up all day, you're like, yeah, let's go!
I know, right?
Let's get, like, a fun snack. It's a good time.
What advice would you give someone who will be running their first Dopey challenge?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. There's so much advice. I would say invest in socks that you really like. Invest in shoes that you really like. Figure out what your foot type is and really get footed. Like, I know everybody are footed. Really get fitted. But I know people say that a lot, but I think those are really important. I think learning what fuel you like is also important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is something I didn't really consider in the beginning of when I was doing my, like, pre-training, which we were still running. We had Princess Half and then the Springtime Surprise races. So those were, like, still 10 miles, 13 miles. But one of the things I never really did was actually plan out fuel or, like, be snacking while on my training runs and having your body get used to that and, like, be running with a cup of Powerade in your hand like you do at the races. And so you're going to have to walk more at the races when you reach the water stops and, like, little things like that you have to really take into account that, like, make a difference.
They say after, like, 6 or 8 miles, you need to be refueling your body with, like, all these specific things. And it's really important to actually do that. I like watching, I think it's Carissa, the spokes lady. Jeff Galloway's, like, daughter-in-law. She's amazing because she is a nutritionist. So some of her advice on Instagram is really helpful. And I also like to just see her pages and stuff and hear what she has advice for. But I do a peanut butter half sandwich, and I pack that in my little thing. Some people do the hydration vest.
Yeah.
I personally don't love them only because Disney has hydration all over. So I personally haven't utilized that. We'll see if I want to do it this dopey challenge. But that was something that I really didn't look into for my first challenge was how am I going to fuel myself, and ended up doing a lot of things that I was used to, like peanut butter sandwiches. I do those jelly beans that are energy.
Yeah,
I
love
so
those.
used to. I've done those since I was like 10 doing swim meets. Like those are my energy source. Some of the newer stuff is just so highly caffeinated and will dehydrate you.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
you
too
really
much.
Gotta watch out.
Yeah, you gotta like simpler is better.
It
is, which is why I was like a peanut butter sandwich. Like that's so simple and easy, but like
love it.
no one recommends no one says that because they're like, well, go buy the sport.
Go buy the high chews.
Go buy this,
yeah,
and it's like you don't really have to do that.
No,
like,
you really don't. You can make a half peanut butter sandwich and a full peanut butter sandwich. Put them in. I honestly have a Lululemon belt bag, and it fits all of that. A sandwich, a half sandwich, all of my jelly beans, which I put in a little bag.
Yeah.
Salt tabs. You want salt tabs.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is like you want to stay hydrated, but not too hydrated with just water. Like you want to replete those electrolytes.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to do that. And then I would say like for training runs, be sure to do the longer runs and the 45-minute runs. Like it may after a while seem like these 45-minute runs don't matter as much, but they really do.
They do.
They matter just as much. Yeah.
Were you super nervous for your first
No,
challenge
okay,
last
so
year?
because I'd done all these 5K, 10K halves at all these races, I wasn't that nervous. And then I actually got a stomach bug the night before. I was a mess. I'm not going to lie. My first dopey challenge was the biggest mess. So I have dislocated / subluxated my shoulder. So a week before the dopey challenge, my shoulder flew out. So I had to put it back in. And then the night before the 5K, I was just throwing up all night long because I had a stomach bug from food. And, of course, this is all during COVID, and so it's all like, oh, my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then I ran the 5K. I threw up in a bush during the 5K. I threw up in a porta potty. And I was like, I don't know how we're going to make it through.
That's miserable.
But we're going to do it. And I got some fire pics, not of me throwing up, but just of me on the course. So it was pretty funny. To me, though, since I got through the 5K with the stomach flu, I was like, well, I'm going to make it through the 10K half a marathon. Like, there's no way I'm going to miss out now.
Yeah.
So I did the 10K. I was feeling a little wonky, but I finished it, and I was happy with my times. And then I did the half marathon, and I was like, okay, we're almost there. I just got to do the marathon. And then finally
just got to do the marathon.
I know. Well, and to be honest, I ran the marathon in the beginning with two of my friends who are very fast, and Megan and Felicity, and they're phenomenal. And they just take off. And so I ran the first, I think, 5 miles with them at a speed of like 4.5 hours for the whole marathon pace.
Wow. Which
is ridiculous. And then I got to mile 5 or 8, and I was like, you guys have a great time. Like, live your best life. I am not going to make it. But I'm so glad I did that because you need to go fast in the beginning and get some stuff over with. It's going to be the coldest it is. Yeah. It's going to be dark and not sunny. It's just a really nice environment.
You want to get more distance behind you at that point.
Yeah. Because once you get to the halfway point, your mental games start playing. Like, you've already done a 5K, 10K and half, and now you just did another half, but you still have a half left.
And you've woken up at, like, middle of the night all weekend, spent the day at the park. Yeah. You're just exhausted by that point.
Yeah. Like, I honestly don't really remember the 5K or the 10K because they're so early.
A blur.
And you're just doing so much other stuff. You're like, okay, they're over with. And then the half of the marathon came, and I was like, all right, here we go.
And that was your first marathon?
Yeah, that was my first marathon.
Okay, that's going to be me, too. Yeah. It's going to be my first marathon.
I think that's so cool. Everyone who signs up for their first marathon as the Dopey Challenge, like, 1, you're crazy. 2, that's amazing. I did the same thing.
Are y'all okay?
Rough. Are we okay? Probably not. But are we going to finish the whole challenge? Yeah. And I remember I even posted on, like, LinkedIn that I did this whole challenge. And I was just goofing around on there. And I got so many likes on it. People were like, this is amazing to do your first marathon as this challenge. Like, that just shows who you are. So everyone out there that's doing their first marathon, you're crazy. We love you. You're going to crush it. Don't be that scared. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's just 2 of the halves that you've already been doing. And you've probably done a lot of halves. Or a couple of halves. I would really hope.
Yeah, let's hope. And, like, hopefully you put in the work to be there and not hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So
I would say Megan and Felicity would say I did not train very well. We are all still linked on our watches, and they messed with me hard because I had just started a new job. I had just moved into an apartment by myself, got through like a 5-year breakup. Like I was living.
Oh my gosh.
Then decided to sign up for these runs and did it. So just to finish that was such a big thing. So
it's also super emotional.
Oh,
And
for sure.
I like touched upon this in my episode 0 of like kind of why I decided to sign up for Dopey, but I had run just the 10K from this past marathon weekend in January, a few months back, and I was standing there in the corrals, and there's just like so much energy around, like whether it's someone's first 10K or whether it's someone's like special important race, or they're doing a challenge, they're doing Goofy, they're doing Dopey, they're doing it for someone, So it's like you're just standing there and you're soaking it all in. You have nothing to do but just stand and look at everyone because, like, what else are you gonna do for those couple hours?
In the morning,
yeah. Other than like socialize with other runners and like they have music bumping, so it's just a whole experience. And I distinctly remember standing in the corral, and for some reason I think I got bumped up to like corral 2 or something insane, or maybe it was corral 1. I think something happened where they were kind of off with placing people in corrals. I remember because my runner friend, like, she got, I don't know, screwed over with her corral or something, and she has like proof of time and everything like that. So, but I might have been in like one of the first corrals, and with the serious runners too, and like a lot of them are doing Dopey. So it was just so interesting to stand there and be like, whoa,
this is wild.
And people doing like sprints and stuff like in the corral while they're waiting.
To so many people. Yeah, I remember having that conversation. Like for me, Dopey Challenge was a very fun, like, I want to prove to myself I can run a marathon, and I didn't care about my time. And my friends really cared about their times. Like this meant a lot to them that they put in all the work. And now I really understand that because this year I'm actually training and doing like F45 to build endurance.
Insanity.
So, but seeing all these runners who take it very seriously, like you can take it 2 ways. Either it's really scary and you're nervous, or wow, that's incredible. Like they started as me at one point, and now they're here in corral 1, absolutely crushing Dopey.
And you're completing the same amount of mileage as
them.
them.
You are. Like, at the end of the day, like I said that too. I was like, look, like if you guys get done in 4 hours and I'm out here at hour 7.5, like I finished, and that's all. That was good enough for me.
Exactly.
But, this year we're all back with a vengeance. So
I know.
We'll see.
People have been asking me like, okay, so do you have like a time goal?
Lord.
Or like a race goal or anything?
No,
and I was like, to finish.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's a good enough goal. Like to sign up and finish. 2 things that
I
a lot of
would
people
like
don't do.
to finish.
I agree. No, I mean, truly, that's what I said the whole time. And I didn't really know there were times that were, like, better, to be honest. I just had been in Run Disney for so long that I'm like, the distance is kind of off anyway. Like, we're going to end up running so many more miles.
Plus, those aren't, like, the serious races for, like, legit racers. Like, of course, people can use them for that, like, their own personal thing, but... we
want to see Mushu.
Yeah, it's like it's fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, we want to take TikToks.
Act like you're having fun.
Act like you're having fun. No, I mean it really is. And so I think like if I want to run the flattest road in my fastest time marathon, I'll do one of those as qualifying time and try and qualify for Boston. That's like my opinion. And then the Run Disney ones, I'm paying this money for the experience with my friends. I'm gonna run it with them. And I do appreciate that because like Megan and Felicity would run back with me often because they were way faster than me. And then they would run back with me for like the 10K or the half so that we could get pictures and finish together.
Get your value out of the race.
Exactly.
Do you ever get in like running ruts? And like, what do you do to get out of them?
I think I'm in one now. I think I was in one a week and a half ago, and now I feel like I'm finally back. Today, I took a Peloton class that was running outdoors. I'm obsessed with that Peloton app for running outdoors.
Yes.
And half of me is like, Ashley, you're not actually doing it at a 90-30 pace or like 60-30. So like, you don't really know where you're running or what your pace is. But then the other half of me is like, but I'm listening to somebody that's like British tell me when to run and I'm having so much more fun.
And if it's like a shorter run, like it's fine.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
It is okay. Yeah.
So I have been loving that. So that's how I get myself out of the rut. I try and make it more fun or like run with friends.
Change it up,
too.
yeah.
But change up either scenery. I was running a lot in Lake Nona, and I was like, okay, I know this area, I know my run, so it's starting to get boring, kind of like what you're saying with this. Like, you run this area a lot, so you're ready to try somewhere new.
Yeah.
I say change up your scenery, change up your time, like if you go in the morning or afternoon, and then listen to something new, like Peloton, or try like a new Pilates class to get you feeling different, and then run too.
Add some cross training.
Yeah, something fun.
Yeah.
I didn't do cross training my first training session because 3 runs a week was enough for me.
Yeah.
But now this time, F45 has been building up my endurance, and I really love it.
What is F45?
Yes.
For people who don't know what that is.
Absolutely. So, like, it's Mark Wahlberg's gym. So, basically, Mark Wahlberg's trainer had created all these amazing workouts, and he's, like, this Australian bodybuilding trainer that makes the same workout for everyone in the, world. It's not even just the United States, it's the world. And so, it is a little more difficult than Orange Theory, but less than CrossFit, in my opinion. Okay. And it's, like, circuit training. So, you run from each circuit, and you try, like, different weightlifting pieces or burpees at one, and then you're doing like jump ropes at another.
Yeah.
And they have certain days that are cardio versus weightlifting. So it's really, I enjoyed it a lot. So like today was cardio. Normally Tuesdays and Thursdays are cardio, but I try and run on the days that we do weightlifting.
Yeah.
So it's not as intense. But today I ran on a day of cardio, and I burned like 700 calories in 2 hours. And I was like, I gotta go home and take a nap.
Well,
and drink some water.
And then it's like you're even hungrier throughout the day.
Oh, you're
like
so hungry
throughout the day. You gotta fuel more.
Yeah, I had to fix that. So I started doing some Cliff Bars, but I also just have to say for nutrition, just do grilled meats and veggies. And then rice or some sort of carb. But if you can do grilled chicken and veggies, you're gonna be set because you're gonna feel so fueled.
Yeah, I've been a hungry gal.
Yeah.
Now that we've been like in set runs and stuff, and like I've been running longer.
After a couple weeks, like you'll start to balance back out. I also drink Celsiuses.
Yeah, you're a Celsius girl.
I'm a Celsius girl. It's either going to ruin my heart or help me run fast. But right now it's doing both, and it's being
bubble
fun.
juice make me go fast.
Yeah, honestly, that's how I feel. And everyone at F45 is like, "Girl," I'm like, "It's fine. It'll be okay." But it's a blast.
Okay, moving on to our final segment, by the numbers. So we've got countdowns for our upcoming races, which the day that this is posted, July 11th. We've got 1-9 weekend coming up November 3rd, and that is just under 3 months and 23 days.
Whoa! I don't like this. This is scary.
I know.
This countdown, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh man.
Which I also put it in like months and days versus like just the days.
No, days doesn't
because
tell you.
It makes you sound like it's a lot farther away.
If you're like 300 days, it feels fine. But if you're like 3 months.
3 months. Like that is.
Wow. Which 3 months
stress.
is 90 days to stop. But no.
It's fine. It's fine.
A lot.
Well, we've got Dopey Challenge, January 4th, 2023, and that is 5 months and 24 days away.
So we're less than 6 months.
We're less than 6 months away. Like, we are week 2 training on the map. Like, and then Princess Weekend, that is February 23rd, 2023. So, again, not too far after Dopey. 7 months and 12 days away.
Wow.
And these are countdowns to, like, Expo Day, basically.
Yeah.
But
no, that's the beginning. Yeah. That's definitely.
Which I should have added this as a high, actually. I did book a resort.
Yes, okay, so I was going to ask you, but I was like, you might want to wait for another one. But yay! I'm so glad that you booked a resort because...
Which I never do that. This will be my marathon weekend. Will be the first time I have stayed on property for a Run Disney race because since I live so close, I just drive, park at Epcot, and then do my race, and then drive, go home, and that's it.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, and then maybe like meet at the parks later. But now it's gonna be like a whole experience. I'm gonna take work off for that, like for Expo Day, because I will be shopping.
No, we literally have like our national sales conference the exact week after. So I run all these races till Sunday, and then have to fly to Texas to go and do these conferences. I'm like, oh my god. So drinking lots of water and keeping away from blood clots. That's for anybody who's flying in. You gotta have a lot of water if you're gonna fly out.
Oh man,
because you run a lot. So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but
that's
staying
insane.
on property, 12 out of 10 experience. Would recommend to everybody.
I'm so excited.
I love it.
Which is so funny because, like, thankfully I get, like, a good cast rate and everything. My mom and I are going to stay, and she's going to be running the 10K for marathon weekend, and then I'm going to just be the psycho getting up every day.
And you're going to come to brunch with
running
me, like, every day.
I know, right?
We're going to go to the parks.
Oh, my gosh.
I refuse to drink, though. Will not drink that whole week.
I was just going to say, will not be.
But we'll be eating the brunch foods.
I was literally thinking this in advance. I was like, I can have, like, 1 glass of champagne on New Year's, and, like, maybe that's it. Like, it's
not worth it.
No, it's not. And, like, it's so... Well, first of all, I love me a good cocktail. Like we
Yeah.
we love good drinks. Like
We like good drinks.
we love a good drink. But like at the same time, when you're in serious training
Yeah.
mode, it can set you back, and
A lot.
it can be very not good for you. So,
Yeah, I
which
agree.
not to say that it's good for you to begin with, but,
No, but
like yeah, you gotta weigh what's
your mid-20s. You're living your life.
you're living your life.
You're living your life.
Yeah, so we gotta watch that. But continuing on by the numbers, pace update. I was hitting probably like 12:30.
Would I love that you do
Because,
that?
yeah.
Pop off. Mine's rough right now.
Well, I upped it to the 90-30 intervals, so I think that's what kind of pushed me. And that was like an average too, so it's not like every
90-30.
mile. Yeah,
I would say hit that 90.
I like 90-30.
Because the whole thing is, so I didn't really get it. You gotta understand, my training last year was rough. And so by like October, I finally figured out that my the walk was supposed to be a little faster paced than like 18-minute miles.
Yeah.
And so you're supposed to kind of bring them to be the same, and then you kind of run the same speed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand that. So I was running at like 6.5-minute pace for like 60 seconds.
And then walking
at
super
18.
slow. Yeah.
So together it was like a 14-minute, and I just didn't get it. But now I'm like, all right, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I just didn't research it that much, I'll be honest. And I didn't have time.
Training helps.
Yeah, training helps a
Who
lot.
would have
Who thought? Yeah, my friends got on me for that a lot. So
Yeah.
And I feel like they'll get on me more this round because everybody's doing it. Like a lot of people are doing Dopey Challenge.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
It feels like if you don't post that you ran today, you will be absolutely strung out. So
we've got to show everyone else that we're doing it.
It's important though. I mean, I think that's great because now everyone's going to do it safely.
Yeah.
Instead of like, well, none of us trained. Let's see.
It's motivating too.
Yes,
so it's like, oh, they got their run in. Like I really need to go get mine
it together. Yeah.
Or like I can't wait to post that I did this and like share about it. So I really love that.
I think it's a positive thing. I don't think it's like, oh, they're running, so I need to run.
No, not at all.
It's been such they're running and they did so good. I want to run too. Like I love it.
And then they're there to cheer you on every step of the way as well.
Yeah, I think everyone's been really supportive because this is tough.
Yeah, like we're in week 2 and total mileage I have at 11 miles.
Oh, fine.
Which for me, I kind of set that because in my 45 minutes, I'm like at about 3.5. Yeah. And then we've got the 4-mile long run. Yeah. So we're in that range. Yeah. But
I love that. That's really good.
Yeah. So we're gonna slowly be getting up there.
It's exciting. Yeah. One of these weeks you're gonna be at like 37.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's kind of
I need to put it on like a spreadsheet or something. I don't have it like set up like that for counting.
You should. Just to even share like after. Like here's what I did.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm gonna keep the numbers like as we go along. But yeah, so that was our final segment. Yeah. Yeah. Next week, tune in for how week 3 goes, and I may or may not have another guest. It's always like scheduling. We don't know.
No, I love it. I might come back.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely be coming back. And like everyone is coming on at least a couple times because we got weeks and weeks and weeks to go.
Yeah, and there's so much to talk about from fueling to like your favorite merch.
There is.
Like the expo.
I know we've got
we have a marathon gal.
Marathon jacket here.
My Dopey jackets are my favorite, but I'm so scared to wear them.
I will be camping out for the expo merch. Like, catch me buying everything Dopey. Yeah, we'll both be there.
We'll be there together.
6
like 3
a.m.
hours early. Like, here we go. Get me a jacket. All the Club Run Disney people like, haha, you should have done it.
I know.
I know.
But like, we're saving money when we can just go there at a time that we're gonna have to be awake the next day anyway.
I know. No, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you so much, Ashley.
It was so fun.
Go give her a follow at Disney_tricks on Instagram. And we're both also on TikTok too.
Yes.
And, we've got all the socials. But, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and get moving. Woo-hoo.